G'day fellas, and welcome back to the off-season episode of the Dreadnoughts. As you all know, this is the third season of actively playing, and we have been to the Super Bowl twice, losing one, and in the most recent one, Super Bowl 57, we of course won. Now this sparked a lot of interest in the NFL. There's no way a team previously known as the Bengals, who we took over and relocated to San Antonio, could have turned one of the worst teams in the NFL to a two-time back-to-back Super Bowl competitor in 3 years. The team is amongst the best in the NFL, which in itself led to some strange conspiracies being brought out about the team. However, the truth of the matter is much deeper, so let's get into a storyline. Keep in mind that I'm about to freestyle this. I have no script whatsoever, so if there's any mistakes or loopholes that you find, don't take it too seriously. I'm just trying to keep the Dreadnought series as interesting as possible. I don't mean to break the fourth wall, but I think it should be said. Following the Super Bowl win that saw the Dreadnoughts claim the top spot in the NFL, there were claims from an anonymous whistleblower that the team was keeping a second set of books. Considering the source was from the Dreadnoughts organization itself, the NFL decided to investigate the claims. And after initially denying the claims and hoping this would be swept under the rug, it made national news. A brand new franchise that had only recently joined the NFL, who saw immediate success, was somehow behind the scenes cheating. How could this not be the top story and talked about by good old Skip Bayless every single day? After investigating the claims by the whistleblower, Dreadnoughts officials confessed that they had committed a series of systematic breaches that proved that they went over the salary cap. Lo and behold, the Dreadnoughts were running a two-contract system with a multitude of players on the roster, which showed that the Dreadnoughts were paying an extra $15.78 million behind the scenes, essentially taking them over the salary cap. So for those of you out there that don't understand exactly what's going on, as all NFL players do, they have a contract to a particular team. However, unbeknownst to the NFL and basically the entire world, particular players were taking money behind the scenes. Kind of like how you see in the NCAA, players getting busted for getting paid to sign with a particular school. Very similar situation, just on a much higher level. Now, first and foremost, the NFL was shocked to find this out, and all of the personnel in the Dreadnoughts organization that were found to be guilty and admitted to it were instantly fired and banned from ever being a part of any other organization in the NFL forever. Good old Iverson though, he had no idea about it. On top of that, those officials were not only just fired from the NFL, but once committing the serious crimes and basically being the mastermind behind the idea, were even taken to court by the NFL themselves. The Super Bowl 57 win was completely vacated, and you really have to feel sorry for the NFL players themselves here. You see, the players that did sign these dual contracts had no idea what was going on. Their job is to play football and not worry about the books. That's the team's job. So instead of being punished, they obviously had their contracts voided, meaning that they all had to go to the free agency. These players included Auden Tate, Quentin Nelson, Kevin Zeitler, Eric Ebron, Mario Gutierrez, Jabril Peppers, Yannick Ngakoue, Darius Leonard, Preston Brown, Darius Phillips, and even William Jackson. This means a large core group who played a massive role in the team's success were now going to enter the free agency following the 2023 season. The Dreadnoughts were of course banned from making any moves in this year's free agency, and as a further punishment, they were stripped of every single draft pick they had in this year's draft. When asked why the Dreadnoughts officials made this decision and thought they could get away with it, they responded by saying after investing hundreds and millions of dollars into setting up the brand new franchise, they didn't want it to fail. Seems simple enough, right? They thought that if they could get the team to the playoffs as soon as possible, it would draw in bigger crowds and make a team that shouldn't have seen success in probably a decade a Super Bowl contender by year 2. And now here we are. And that's essentially gonna leave us with this. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that I will not be renegotiating contracts with anybody. The good thing to note is that none of these players here really play a huge role on the team. I mean, they would now that a lot of our good players are gone, but as per the rules, as per the fine, you basically have to let these dudes walk. Now, lucky I re-signed a lot of the players that we desperately needed, and the team honestly isn't that bad, mate. It's still better than like the Dolphins and stuff. But this is what the team is looking like heading into next season. We're not allowed to do free agency and we're not allowed to do the draft, but we still have some really solid pieces. Oh, and that's the thing that somebody pointed out in the Super Bowl episode. John Ross is an X factor. I genuinely did not notice that when I was looking at the team before the Super Bowl. Let's check this out. I don't know when he became an X factor. Development trade increased because he won wide receiver of the year. That's exactly why. Man, John Ross is such a goon, bro. I'm so glad we have him. But as you can see, the offensive line is now in shambles. It's still pretty good with Shaq Mason and Jonah Williams, but it's nowhere near as good as it was. We still have Evan Ingram. Pat Whittle is now going to be the quarterback. Lamarcus Dupree is still thankfully with the squad, as well as Matt Moore. Wiley is coming off contract, so we don't have a free safety, but Darqueze Dennard could probably play that. And we also still have Tyson Bowie. We still have Keon. We still have Ricky Grist. The only problem is our cornerbacks. I will say that. We've got two of them on the roster. They're both 68. If the computer wants to sign somebody in preseason week 1, that should be allowed. But I'm personally not going to be touching it. But with that being said, let's see what's going to happen in free agency with all these studs in there now. Wow. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins was in free agency. I wouldn't have minded picking him up, but of course we can't. Darius Leonard goes and signs with the Patriots. Quentin Nelson goes to the Chiefs. Yannick Ngakoue gonna go to the Broncos. Mario Gutierrez signs with the Raiders. He got an $87.2 million contract with 105 bonus. Woo, $192 million. Mario got that. Eric Ebron to the Giants, William Jackson to San Fran. There are some other players that aren't in the free agency, but for the storyline purposes, I couldn't release them all, you know what I mean? So one thing to point out is Jabril Peppers, I did have to trade away to the Broncos for essentially nothing to make this work. But yeah, you see all the other players here. It is ridiculous. And the last thing to point out is we do not have any draft picks whatsoever. But we will go through a couple of picks just to see what happens and who goes where. Benjamin Sachs, we did a storyline on him. He goes to the Redskins. James Graham goes to the Lions. Marcus Elliott goes to the London Bulldogs. Oh man, I know a lot of you guys wanted us to get Marcus Elliott, but there will be chances down the line. Let's just, relax. Scott McQuack goes to the Bills. Let's see what the highest overall was in this draft as well. Mac Turner, the right guard. We did storylines for a lot of these guys. Scott McQuack was somebody we desperately needed and still do need. Trent Keyback out of Michigan State. We were really keen on this guy. He went 14th to the Rams. Terrell Waller was a beast. We let Marcus Elliott walk. The good thing is we versed the London Bulldogs quite regularly. Kevin Turner goes round 1, pick 18 to the Baltimore Ravens. Pat Thompson is now a part of the Saints. Kevin Henry, a lesser known Charleston Tech player who's still really good at 75 overall, is going to sign with the Arizona Cardinals. Now I get it, there's going to be a lot of people that are super mad and probably not going to watch the series ever again. I mean, it's up to you guys. The last thing I really want to say regarding the storyline is please try to understand that as a content creator, I try to bring you guys the most interesting content I can. A big part of that is that I need to enjoy what I'm doing on the channel. Otherwise, I don't believe you guys will enjoy it. The fact of the matter is, the Dreadnoughts became way too easy with the team that we had, and we assembled them essentially in 2 off seasons. So at least now, regarding the fine, we are now fully eligible to make moves in free agency and also in the draft. So consider us now in full rebuild mode with the possibility of a playoff berth. But in saying that, basically consider this like an episode 1 again. We now get to re-experience the fun part all over again. So I'm extremely excited. Pat Whittle will be making his debut as the official starter to the team. We have to overcome challenges like a 58 overall right guard being the starter. We get to see what Matt Moore and John Ross can do as a pair. We get to see players like Jaquan Johnson, a player that most of you guys probably don't even know, start and try and make plays on the team. Where is Keon Weathers? Oh, dude, they put Keon at right ends. Oh, that's going to be cool. Imagine seeing Keon come off the edge. We also get 1 more year of Geno Atkins, who decided he was not going to retire. I don't know about you guys, but I am really looking forward to the upcoming season, man. So many challenges, But that being said, fellas, that is going to wrap up the Dreadnoughts off-season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and for those of you that got triggered, I apologize. But it is what it is, man. If you made it this far in the video, you are the real MVP. Hope the rest of your day is awesome, and from me personally, I'm out. Peace.